Hello and welcome back to the series of me talking through some of my lecture information. I apologise if the first couple of these videos and maybe the last couple I sound like I've got a really bad cold. My allergies are kicking in and I'm going to be recording them sort of the first few, then the last few, then the middle few, just to help with my revision sort of. It's just a weird layout I'm going to be doing it in because I've not reviewed the beginning stuff in a while. I've not re-reviewed the new stuff in a while, but I've reviewed the middle stuff quite recently, so I'm sort of leaving that last to record revision for, if that made any sense. But sorry. Anyway, I did a couple of these last year for my semesters, and I will only have one exam for my final semester, which is on pathology. So I'm going to be doing some more videos on that topic, and I thought I'd share them with you guys. So, to start off with, pathology is the science to study the origin, nature and course of disease. There's a few different types of pathology that you can sort of branch into. So there's clinical pathology, which is analysis done in labs, histopathology, which is where you look at the slides, molecular pathology, which is when you're looking at DNA, neuropathology, which is all to do with neurons and the brain and stuff like that. Forensic pathology, which is involved in obviously forensics, so crime analysis, and cytopathology, which is the analysis of cells. So why do we actually study pathology? So we study pathology to sort of understand the full development of humans, so how we go from an egg to multicellular tissue to then a multi-tissue organism. If we understand sort of this development and the healthy basics, then we can understand the development of disease. When we understand how the disease develops, we can then develop treatments and therapeutics for them. When we develop treatments and therapeutics, we can then observe these therapies and treatments to see the outcomes, so we can compare healthy tissues to diseased tissues to treated diseased tissues and see how they change. And because of all these stages, we can then define illnesses and disease based on pathological findings. So some of you might be wondering what the definition of a disease is. So a disease is a consequence of a failure of homeostasis, and we use pathology to study the mechanisms of these diseases. So there's a few causes or mechanisms of disease. So there can be physical causes, which is things like sunburn and frostbite. There's chemical, so when you take drugs or smoke or drink alcohol. Structural diseases, which are due to changes in the structure of tissues and sort of parts of the body. So during when you're being born, if the neural tube doesn't develop properly, if you have a hole in your bowel, things like that. Disease is caused by infections, inflammatory diseases such as autoimmune conditions and things like anaphylaxis, so being allergic to stuff. There's nutritional diseases, so things that come from being overweight or underweight. There's degenerative diseases which tend to occur with age, so things like osteoarthritis and dementia. And then there's genetic causes of disease which are inherited through families, so things like sickle cell with the red blood cells and cystic fibrosis.